Drew Barrymore is getting back to work. Racer X out there. You were talking about this. I want to talk about Drew Barrymore because I know Drew Barrymore is going back. She actually started back on Monday, officially back September 18th for their first show, but they started shooting on Monday. And you're saying, okay, well, it's a talk show. That seems fine, right? Well, the problem is she kind of falls in line. And wait, let me break it down. She went down her last season before all the strikes. So she's amping back up to get back to work and the strike's happening. And she said, well, I had to think about all my crew and stuff, so I'm going back. But you had 3 WGA members, not a lot, but 3 WGA members, very pivotal part, writing your opening monologues, doing all your jokes, all that. Now they're saying, we're just not going to use anybody. We're not going to get non-union people. We're not going to break any rules. We're just going to, improv, which again, I don't believe. I don't think that's going to happen. They're probably going to hire somebody else, or maybe she will do more running. Who knows? But the thing is, it's not right when you've had WGA members on your crew for few seasons now, and they were actually, all 3 of them were out picketing on Monday, first thing Monday morning out there picketing, and it got to the point where there were like members going in to go join the live audience, and like there were 2 people, I heard this story a lot, there were 2 people out there that were going in, and they had no idea what was going on, and they got handed like some signs and some pins, and they were like all of a sudden picketing, and they're like, we gotta go watch the show, and they went in and they got kicked right out. They got kicked out because they were wearing like strike signs and strike shirts and pins and stuff. So then they went and just joined the audience picketing outside, which of course it grew and grew and grew as it was going. But the thing is, like she was saying, like, it's okay. I'm going to hold my own on this. But overall, I think that if you, and I get it, it's 3 people. There's a big crowd.
That sounds great. I'm sorry. That's fucking great.
right, Lexi? I laugh. People are calling her scab. They're calling her gross.
Great.
It's just for me, this whole thing, I get we got to get back to work, but I think it's just inappropriate sauce to get out there and start going back in this way. I mean, Drew Barrymore, just wait a couple more months, push it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I just feel like you're in the middle of a strike. Support your writers. They're a big part of your show. I know it's only 3 people and you're going to push that, but without writers, they're the backbones of everything. So it's very unfortunate, I think. But Paul, what do you think? Do you think this makes sense? Do you think that they go back to work? Do you understand where they're coming from? Or do you think that they should have just stayed off and waited till this was all said and done?
No matter if she's in the right or not, if this doesn't go against any contracts or whatever, the optics on this are terrible. I think that in the long run, up to now, her legacy, her everything about her as an actress or a talk show host has just diminished overnight. Like she is just destroying her image, and it's going to be a lot of work to get it back because this just looks bad. And again, it doesn't matter if she's not doing anything wrong. There are people like, I think it was Viola Davis had a movie who, recently that they said, oh, we got a pass to do this because the SAG contracts worked around. And she said, no, I'm not going to do the movie. We're going to wait till the strike's over. And that's the stuff that needs to happen, in that situation. Yeah. I think Drew Barrymore has too much clout to let something like this just slide and be like, okay, fine, we'll just shoot. It doesn't matter. It really does. And unfortunately, she's going to probably regret this if she isn't already.
Yeah, I think she's going to regret it too, especially day one. All of a sudden, people are out there picketing. And what was that Racer X just said? Hey, Ryan, can you put that back up on the screen? I missed that for a second. I would be bothered by what Drew Barrymore did, but she's so pretty and charming that I would give her a pass.
You don't get a fucking pass on this girl. No,
is she your celebrity pass? Is that what she is, Racer X? I agree, Racer X. Thank you for joining the chat.
If only David Zaslav was a good-looking... you get a pass.
We give him a pass, maybe. I don't know. Damn it. Lexi, what do you think, though? Do you think you give her a pass, or do you think that she will regret this, like Paul's saying, down the line?
So there are WGA writers on the staff. They are breaking the rules. The WGA is pissed. She's violating stuff. This is wrong. So, she's like way in the wrong. People are like, what are you doing here, Drew? You're not going to be too happy when her show gets canceled and she doesn't have much of a career after this, because going against the unions in Hollywood, like that's the stupidest thing you could fucking do, especially being as established as she is. She just shot herself in the foot. Like, you're not going to have much of a talk show. Because, like, I mean, the backlash that she's receiving online is huge. Like, it's exponential. I read the article that you sent me, and then like I had a half an hour before the show, and I was just like threw something on, and I watched 3 more articles that I didn't intend to watch about this, because this is big news. This is not
big
little. I mean, I don't know what she's thinking.
She's a
I
millionaire.
don't know why she would do this. Exactly. She's a millionaire. So what?
Yeah.
Selfish, rude behavior, of course. Like, just like most of the Hollywood elites, like someone who's been in that position. I mean, she's had a hard life in that position, but also, like, she doesn't know any better. Like, you know better. If it's one thing you understand, she's always been fairly respectful in that world too. Like, it's one thing Drew Barrymore was. She's been great. Fairly good in like the Hollywood world, fighting for people's rights and fighting for like that stuff. I was going to say,
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just want to say, if she came out with her show and it was all about helping people through the strike and really talking about that and delving into that and not bringing up entertainment in general, like, I think that would be the way to go for her show right now. But I really don't think she's going to do that.
No, I mean, she was already
She was already
like reshooting like a previous episode. And so she's already, I mean, there's nothing about that, I don't think, from what I understand, but we'll see. Maybe she'll say something now that all this is moving forward. And it does help. Like, it does help the viewers out there. It's good for the audience. They'll actually get that. But logistic wise, I understand, like, we're getting comments about how like they're happy they're watching. Yeah, of course. And there will be like, people will start doing this more, I think, but then WGA will picket them. SAG-AFTRA will picket them. They'll get shut down probably eventually until there's a deal. It doesn't help the whole cause. And technically, she's not breaking anything, but she is breaking WGA rules because they are WGA,
WGA
employees. It's a WGA scripted show, so they're breaking that. They're not breaking SAG technically because hosts can still do this. Hosts are fine. But it's a whole different deal. But WGA standards, it's not good. It's not good logistic wise. And I think it will affect her down the line. I think it really will. But honestly, I think this will happen more. I think as people are testing the waters to see what happens, she'll be a big trial. If nothing really bad happens besides picketing, if it doesn't get shut down, you're right. More people will try. But then this falls in that same thing as late night talk shows, and they're not going back. What they're doing is they're doing a talk show, giving money to their crew. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, it's a different way of spinning it. And I think, again, we talk about how the millionaires donated money to SAG-AFTRA, like The Rock, and like giving money back to give to the people. So I think that's the route you should go as opposed to worrying about your show. But then again, other side, audiences will probably be happy about this, but I know a lot of people are not out there as it is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Queen Glamazona, I get that. You're probably freaking stoked, and I get that. But
I wish I could get all my shows back.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff I wish was playing. It's just I'm willing to wait to
get back to it.
Writers, to get people what they deserve to get paid.
Can I make a comment about unions? I didn't mean to cut you off or whatever, but I'm watching your strike stuff and what have you, and I wanted to say, like, as someone who tried to be part of the unions, because I was a makeup artist, right, and I tried for years to be part of IATSE, and the difficulties of trying to join the unions as an outsider is very difficult. Like, Hollywood is one of the most difficult industries to try to get into. It's like, how do you get into Hollywood? Well, you got to work on a Hollywood film for so many hours to get the hours to get the union hours, right? And then it's like, well, how do you get the union hours? Well, you got to be in the union to work on a union film. So it's like, it's a whole contradiction, right? Like, it's this whole entire thing and all this kind of stuff. And so you spend like a fortune, like it was like $1,000 for me to apply for IATSE for like my makeup stuff and all that kind of stuff. And for each individual like IATSE throughout the country, there's like that application and all that kind of stuff. And so the process of getting into it, but by doing that and by going through that, I was in a place where I was like, once I get into this union, I'm secure, right? I know that once I'm here, I'm protected, and I know I'm secure, and I know that Hollywood has some of the best and most secure unions out there, right? And then I sit here and I hear that the same effects union never did anything for the VFX people, the visual
never
effects.
did.
And so the VFX people have no protections in this industry for years. And I want to say that I grew up loving VFX and saying like I support VFX, and I spent my whole life being chastised for it because so many people who are older in the industry are so against modernization in so many things, like, oh, it's got to be done the old way, oh, the artistry behind it. And it's like, I respect artistry, obviously. Stop motion is beautiful and I love stop motion. It's also very time consuming. There's a lot of things that a computer can do to help you and aid you, you know what I'm saying? And so you have to understand that technology can help you and aid you in certain ways, but you can also abuse technology and have it, you know, work against you. And so there was a point there where CG was not good, and there was a point where CG, you know, it has to grow, right? So, but you have to allow things to grow and change and develop. And so these VFX people who got fucked over because all these angry curmudgeon old fucking effects guys got in the union, got their position, held their position, and then said fuck you to those people and never got them a chance to get the growth. That's disgusting.
It sucks.
You old fucking effects people should have fought for those people to have their positions in that union.
Yeah, and then for years, Lexi, they were just like working without a contract. They've been trying for a decade, actually, to get into the union, to get in IATSE.
Why was nobody standing there to help those people? Why are we sitting here right now watching this stuff? And I think the thing is that you sit here as an outsider and you look at the film union, and you've always thought the film union was so stable and such a good place to go. And I always thought, if I could just get there, there. And then you look at it and you're like, you guys are fucked. You guys are sitting here questioning your own stability. You're questioning your own livelihoods. You're questioning your own whatever. And you really have to ask yourself at this point, if the film unions are this unstable, how fucked are we as a country? Because the film unions used to be one of the most stable unions in the country at one point in time. And now they're not. And we have no unions in this country that are stable in any field, all across the country. I'm proud of UPS just got
UPS had a big one.
They got killed it. I'm so proud of them for finally getting that. But like, that's a small victory in a large country of thousands of people that are suffering. Like, I am suffering every day with my job. Every one of us is suffering out here, and we all need victories in the same way that you guys need a victory with the WGA and stuff and all this. We need to stop fucking people over. And I know I keep going back to capitalism, but it's like, when you commodify art, right, the discussion no longer becomes the value of the art itself. So the art's not relevant anymore, right? Because the idea is the money. And I think when the money becomes the discussion, I think at that point you kind of become relevant, don't you? Because the AI can do what you can do, because at the end of the day, it's all about money. It's not about art. Am I correct?
Well, that's what it's come down to these days. And that's why AI is being pushed more and more. And also it's easier for them, but it's not there though, Lexi, but that's why we're doing this, because we're worried about what's going to happen in 3 years from now time, you know, where it's going to be, will we have jobs? Again, the scanning is scary in Hollywood. I've been scanned. I've said that multiple times. I got scanned for Ant-Man 3. You know, I didn't know what was happening, but they scanned me multiple times. And so we don't know what they're going to do with that. I would hope, I hope that would not be used to put me in the background someplace else or do something else with me. But you never know. You just never know. And it's like, as that technology gets better and they find ways to cut us out, it becomes all about the buck and less about the art. And that sucks, because we give up a lot for the art.
Humans need art, and we need storytelling in the same way that we need food, air, and water. It is something that we have done for our entire lives. We painted on cave walls. We stood around campfires and told stories. This is not something we commodify. And I hope people understand that, even though we're sitting here and having this discussion, that capitalism is destroying a part of our human existence by making it this. And that by taking the art out of it and making it what it is now, that human experience has been removed from it, and that it's not something that we should be commodifying. It's something that should be a human experience that we all experience together and enjoy. But that's
I just worry, Lexi, about the film industry in general. And people's jobs and livelihoods, of course. You know, I worry about it all. And
socialism will fix that. Socialism will fix everything. Universal basic income, healthcare.
Well, that's a whole different topic right there. Let's see, but you know, honestly, I think that with this, WGA is trying to get their deal. Drew Barrymore is trying to get her show going again, and people want content, and hopefully that the money doesn't wreck the art.